Hi, today Nayna McIntosh and I are having a chat about Hope Fashion. Hope is a fashion label that you're the founder of.
I am indeed.
How long has Hope been running?
We just celebrated our first birthday, so we are very, very young.
Well, that's pretty exciting.
It is.
What inspired you to start Hope?
I've been in the business 30 years. I've been part of a team that set up two brands in the past. So the Georgia Astor brand in the late 80s.
Very exciting.
The Peruna brand in 2001. And had a really good career at Marks and Spencer. And I got to 50, I guess, that's the starting point. And for me personally, that was definitely a midlife moment, as in more than halfway through, what is it you're going to do with the next part of your life? And for the first time, I decided to be quite brave and listen to my inner voice. And my inner voice was saying, why don't you do this for yourself? And in considering doing that, I knew I wanted to do it in a way that I could relate to and would be very much be able to embrace. And I felt very strongly that there was an opportunity for a fashion brand that talked particularly to women that were 40 plus, 45 plus, and was cognizant of what those women might need. And the reason for that is that's how I was feeling about
you
myself.
You are that woman.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah.
So that was the motivation. And in starting to think about whether that was something that was feasible, I did some research, and there were two or three things that were really interesting for me. The first of which was this woman represents over half of the UK women's wear market, so that's how financially important or lucrative we are as a group. Which depends which bit of research you read, but generally it's acknowledged that this woman and her partner hold about 75 to 80% of the UK's wealth. And the other thing for me was how this woman finds shopping today.
Intimidating, I think.
Intimidating, lonely is sometimes the word that's used. And therefore I felt very, very passionately that there was an opportunity to do something to talk to this woman. And as I said, what was most important for me was that it was something I could be really passionate about.
I think we all get to this midlife stage, wonder what on earth we should be wearing.
Yeah.
You know, we're not trying to compete with the 20-year-olds.
We're certainly not.
We don't want to look like we're, an elderly person.
No.
And also, this is a time when so many people either change relationships or start working when they haven't been working before, they've been running around after children. There's so many different things that happen in your life that you have to adapt to.
Very much so.
And I left a workplace where everybody was wearing, very sharp dresses and jackets with big shoulder pads, tight skirts, things like that, and came back to a very more relaxed workplace where people are much more comfortable wearing trousers and
absolutely
not wearing skirts and high heels all the time. So how we adapt to that now and how clothes work for our life, I think is really important. And I think what you're trying to do with Hope is to tick all those boxes and meet the demands of the woman in her 50s now.
I think what we're trying to do, what the most common word that comes back to us from women who buy and wear Hope is that it's comfortable. And comfortable doesn't have to mean, I often say, elasticated waist trousers and crimply shoes. It's about, because I fundamentally believe if you feel comfortable, it's the first step to feeling confidence.
Yes, without a doubt.
And therefore, that's why the ethos of our brand is all about the shape of the garments, the fabrication, the yarns, the cut, and that's my starting point with any woman that we talk to. Is it's about making you feel comfortable and ultimately confident.
And the fabrics that you use are so important, aren't they? Because having looked through some of your garments, you're using a lot of natural fabrics, and also you're actually producing garments that really flatter, but in quite a clever way.
Well, I'm really glad you've said that, because that's obviously what we aspire to do. From a fabrication point of view, you're right, we use a lot of natural fabrics. So whether that's merino, whether it's cashmere, whether it's silk, or whether it's cotton. But there are also some really good man-made fabrics out of it, man-made fibres. And one of the pieces for us that we use is in our foundation collection, which is 28% lycra, 72% polyamide, and is just the most comfortable thing in the world to wear. So I think it's getting the balance right between the two.
Yeah, and also I think confidence is without a doubt the most important thing as you get older.
Completely agree. Yeah.
So if you're, I think we all get up in the morning, if our hair looks right, we feel better. If our makeup looks right, we feel good. If our clothes feel good, the day's pretty much made, isn't it?
Okay, there's a lovely testimonial that we shot recently with a lady who came in. She'd never seen the Hope brand before. She'd heard about it and was a friend of a friend. And when she arrived, she had a certain look, shall I say, and she went through hair, she went through makeup, she then got dressed in the product, and what really, really happened was this confidence just came out. And there's a fab shot of her when she's just walking away from camera, and there's a swing in her step. And I just looked at it and thought, my goodness me, what a difference.
You've got it.
You nailed it, sweetie.
That's fantastic. Nayna, Hope, where did the name come from?
It's not complicated. It's my mum's name.
Oh, lovely. That's really nice.
When I decided to come out of M&S 3 years ago, I took a year out, which I often say was my gift to myself, having worked 30 years straight.
Was it your gap year?
It was my gap year, yeah. I'm sure there's some trendy expression for it, but it was my gap year. And I used that period to what I call research, read and reflect, and really think about what I was going to do next. And as part of that journey, and it might sound crass, but it honestly isn't, I kind of wanted to understand a bit more about what made me tick, what was important to me, because I wanted to ensure that whatever I did next, I would be happy and comfortable doing.
And proud of.
And ultimately proud. Yeah. So I went back to, I guess, what I call my family values, which was all about love, family, friendship, integrity and trust. And I just knew that if I was going to do something, it had to be based on that, which took me back to my Jamaican parentage. And my grandfather came over in the 50s. It took him about 8 years to kind of bring the children over one by one to earn enough money to send money back. And I just think about what he would have done, in terms of leaving his family with a view to do this, to set up a better life for them. And I often say he must have had such hope and optimism in his heart when he set out. And that's when I was reminded, gosh, that's Mum's name.
Yeah.
So it just felt so natural to call the brand Hope, and that's what we've done.
Do you think in your 50s it's a time where you really can appreciate your past as well as plan for your future? I think you come to an age where you see things differently.
I think whether it's to do with being 50, I don't know. I think what I would say is that when you're going through a crisis of confidence, or you're not quite sure which way to go, you get to a crossroads in your life, whether it's personal, career, or otherwise. For me personally, that was the way out of it. I felt very strongly that the answer would lie in what makes me, and that's when it all came back to family and love and trust. And whether that happens in your 50s, I don't know, but for me personally, it was when I got to that crossroads in career, what am I going to do?
Well, it's so interesting.
Thank
we
you.
are going to explore a little bit more about Hope Fashion and some of the garments. I'm really excited about this because I can't wait to see them. I haven't seen them all, so I'm very excited to see them. So we're going to record some more videos with Nayna and talk a little bit more about what it means to find fashion in your 50s. So thanks for watching. If you want to contact Nayna, I know you're really great at answering emails because I know you get a lot of people writing to you. So we're going to put links to Nayna's website at the bottom of this video, or if you want to contact Fighting 50, we'll pass them on, because I think finding that confidence in your 50s is really important, and if you can do it through what you're wearing, what a great way of doing it.
Completely.
So do send any questions if you've got them, and look out for the other videos. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.